The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hey everybody. Let's see. So we have a few more registrants that hoping to see, but it looks like we should just get started. So welcome to this month's installment of Monday Market Matters, leveraging National Farmers Market Week. This is a this webinar series, Monday Market Matters series, is a project of the Farmers Market Support Program, which is a program created by the Community Farm Alliance. You can check out more about us at cfaky.org. Here's our website. We have all sorts of great resources there, and our main goal is to connect rural and urban communities through farming and food. So check us out if you are seeing this on YouTube. So we are going to talk about what the value of, we're going to talk about the advantages and the goals that the National Farmers Market Week provides, and why one wants to participate. And we're going to talk about a couple of ways that you can leverage. There are a lot of resources out there. We will provide some as well. And so there's a lot of stuff that you can do that's pretty lightweight, that can really help increase exposure for your market and hopefully provide really easy, positive press, earned press, and even and ideally you'll have good business for that week and in the future as a result. So the main reasons why you want to participate ultimately is this is a project. The National Farmers Market Week is a declaration made by the USDA every year. You'll see in the image here on the right, this is last year's declaration from Sonny Perdue, the current Secretary of Agriculture for the USDA. So everyone covers it. All the national media does something about National Farmers Market Week. There's always articles to share. There's always articles about why farmers markets are beneficial to communities, and in turn that means that there's also local press that's a lot more receptive to running a story. So everybody kind of wants to hop on the bandwagon and have something relevant for their area of their beat. So it's a really good thing to participate in, and it's worth a little bit of legwork and to get it done. And there's a lot of resources available to you. So we're going to go over some of that today. And so a couple of things that would be really great to do is involve your representatives. We've had mayors come out, the governor can come out to a market, and more locally, you can have the county administrator, state senators, state representatives, even the mayor of your community to come, make a speech, do a ribbon cutting, something. And that means that you get the press that follows that representative around to come to your market as well, and it's also earned media. Another thing you can do is write an op-ed, and we'll go over that a little bit today as well. Plan a special event, and I would recommend doing something kid-oriented, because kids bring parents, and then the whole family's at the market. It makes a really nice atmosphere. So that would be my primary target but it does take a little bit of attention on market day. So if you don't have that, if you don't have the time to provide a little bit of attention, then we'll talk about some other options for you as well. There are other important promotions that you can do, and the social media presence is really important these days. And there's a lot of really great tools that can help make you a really nice marketing option, marketing tools. So the other piece that I think is a really important thing to discuss, and we need to go over more with CFA. CFA's work we need to do more with the Farm Bill, but there's also some important stuff that we can do about the Farm Bill. We'll have other stuff. CFA has other things going on with the Farm Bill, so we won't really go over a lot of talking points for the Farm Bill today. But if you're interested in being involved and getting more information about the Farm Bill, please let me know, and we can make sure that you are tapped in. So we'll start with involving your representatives. Like I said, you have all sorts of options. This is on the right-hand side of the screen. There is our proclamation that we got from Governor Bevin 2 years ago for National Farmers Market Week, and so we posted this all over social media, and it's a nice thing to have for your market. So we will probably do this again and issue out any images through our own social media channels and through our Google group and Facebook group. So have a look, keep an eye out there, and hopefully we'll get another one from Governor Bevin this year. There are other people to reach out to. There's lots of ways to get it done. So a couple of things that we have. I provided a couple links. The one thing I need to point out for this presentation today is the Farmers Market Coalition has a really great batch of resources for National Farmers Market Week, and I've linked a lot of their stuff to our page today. So shout out to National Farmers Market Week for doing some really great work. We are hoping, my goal is to get some more CFA-oriented stuff within the next week or two, so that you will have that as well. But we'll have stuff that mentions double dollars by name and the specific language that we use, and we'll go over some of the Farmers Market Support Program elements as well in our own press items. So let me just show you. Let's see, where are you seeing? Okay, cool. So there's a link to the local proclamation template, as you can see. So you have a couple of options here. You want to put in your state. So we'd put in our city or county, and follow through with the blue items need to be replaced by you for your market. So it's actually quite nice, easy proclamation you can get. It's an easy thing. It should be pretty easy to get. Most people really like farmers markets. Elected officials like to be associated with popular things. So getting this shouldn't be hard, and it's a nice thing to have. And it's also the beginning of developing a relationship with your elected officials, which is also really valuable. In addition, the Farmers Market Coalition has a advocate page. So on here, you'll see a number of items available to you, including the template, the local proclamation template, an invitation template for public officials, and a contact info lookup for your congressional representative and state legislators. And this is also a great place to go for advocacy in the future. So if you are concerned about the Farm Bill and would like to speak directly to your representative, this toolkit can help prepare you. And it includes some video series here about developing your plan and reaching out to them. So great little set of resources there by Farmers Market Coalition as well. Let me go back to. All right. So next option, another thing that's available to you is writing an op-ed for your local paper. A couple of things that I think are really important to keep in mind as you're writing it is to make a pretty clear appeal about your market. Make it personal to you. Make it personal to why the market matters to you and why the market should matter to the community, and paint the picture that you see in the world. So why farmers markets benefit your community or the local economy, or in any other aspect of the work that people probably are too busy to see or catch. That's kind of what you want to use the op-ed for. We have a couple of interesting local numbers. We have a couple of interesting sort of statistics that you can use. There are also some in the op-ed template that the Farmers Market Coalition offers. But one of the ones we often use in a lot of our reports is the Moody's local purchase multiplier. And according to their calculations, for every dollar spent locally, the local economy is impacted $1.70. So we use that a lot to kind of show why farmers markets are important and valuable in more ways than just a community space. And the last most important thing to remember is to use positive language. So if you're making it personal, you don't want to use negative terms. You want to make it talk about why this market is working for you instead of why everything is why things were not working for you, so you wound up at the farmers market. So it's a matter of making sure the perspective is something that people will A, enjoy reading, and B, want to support further. It's a lot easier to attract flies with honey than vinegar, right? So the value of that is really important to hammer home. So on the right, you'll see a op-ed that one of our CFA members put together when Governor Bevin issued out his proposed budget earlier this year. So we have worked with local papers in the past, and the op-eds are actually pretty easy get, or pretty good get if you can get them. So it's a really nice way to make an appeal in your own words, and especially during Farmers Market Week, I'm pretty sure a lot of you can successfully get space in your paper. So if you are worried about writing or feel like your eloquence is not super high, the Farmers Market Coalition has an op-ed template. CFA will have one as well that will include double dollars and a couple other things, but the challenge is that all of our markets are participating in this one specific part of double dollars, and this other part they're not. So we have a lot of different variables. But this op-ed template is a great place to start, and it gives you a couple of nice examples of things to include and language to use that'll make a nice appeal. So you'll see that it's quite short. So there's plenty of it's easy to fit a short article, a short op-ed into a paper as well. So it might be good to reach out to your local paper to say you want to put in an op-ed about Farmers Market Week, National Farmers Market Week, and see what kind of word count they want, and go from there. But this is a nice launching point for that. We'll issue another one. Like I said, we'll issue a CFA branded or CFA languaged version by the end of the week, I believe. So keep an eye out for that as well through our social media channels and the Google group. Let's see. All right. So the other thing that we really want to consider is planning a special event for the day. I just threw out a couple of examples here of things that you can do to draw in customers. That could be giveaways, enter to win. So if you want to get one item, I would recommend doing an enter to win. I think they're pretty. If you can get a fairly attractive prize, it's a really easy way to collect email addresses to reach out to customers in the future for newsletters, and say you have to move your market on a month's notice in the future. You now have the emails of quite a few customers who have been to your market you can now let know where the market will be in a month or a week. If that worst case scenario, a week, you'd say we're moving this week to this location. So getting those email addresses can be really helpful. Now there are a couple of ethical things you have to keep track of when having that. So you have to check a box. You have to make sure you include a box that says I do not want to be contacted, so that so you're not just sending emails to anyone. But I'd say 75% of the time, people, when they provide their email address, they want to get information. So it's worth doing either way. A couple of easy things to do is do tastings. Make sure you have your GAP certified to do so. Or I'm sorry, not GAP certified. I believe it's PBPT certified. You can provide a raffle. There's a good opportunity for a fundraiser as well. If you are friends with anyone who does live music, or if you have any budget, getting live music out would be really nice. I've seen people use sort of secret words with Facebook with mixed results. So, consider that. But the big challenge with Facebook sort of secret word stuff is that it doesn't stay a secret at the market. So people aren't, sometimes you're not going to get the people who are actually on your Facebook page, who have the secret word, which is what the goal is, right? So, but there are a million ways to skin the cat. So don't just cut it out immediately. Consider some other ways that you can use it. Another thing that I've seen that I really like, and I find pretty charming, is the cookbook swap. People come with a number of cookbooks that they no longer need. I know I have a bookshelf full of cookbooks that we are now fully in the, my fiance and I are fully in the one in, one out scenario. So if we get a cookbook, we have to remove a cookbook. And so the cookbook removal needs to go somewhere. And so I like cookbook swaps for that reason. So consider something like that. There's other stuff that you can do. There's some really cool things that are available to you that are even National Farmers Market Week related. So the USDA has these coloring sheets. That you can print out. This is just a PDF that gives you examples of what they are. but you can print these out, put a pile of crayons on a 6-foot table, and let the kids go nuts. They're nice, and they're a nice little thing to have the kids occupied, have the parents there. And I can't stress it enough that the more of a family feel that the markets have, I think the happier everybody is, and the happier the market is, and that can only make the market better in the long run. So providing family activities, I think, is a really nice thing to do. Let's see. So there are other options out there. You can do a scavenger hunt for the kids, which is pretty cool. This is a quick Google search that I created. And all these links will work within the PowerPoint. So that's a handout within the webinar itself. Feel free to use the PowerPoint to get to the links, but you can also find all this stuff. They're all kind of closely associated with each other, so it's easy to go from one thing to the other outside of the PowerPoint. So one thing that I wanted to point out is there's actually some very nice things that people have created, and they're very different for different markets. Some places won't have, for example, here's a scavenger hunt. Some places won't have asparagus. So there's all sorts of different kinds here. So here's one that gives gives kids the option to find all of these things. So you can customize it, or you can find one that's already created by somebody. So there's one in here that is a little bit more sort of sensory oriented. So find something that smells sweet, so it feels soft, it's color red. So that's a fun way to do it too. So you know best of what the kids that come to your market are, and what sort of where they are in their own sort of development. So find a good example here, or create one. These are a couple of places that you can get ideas to create your own. One thing I want to point out that I really like is I figured out, if you've ever done a Google search. So if you do farmers market scavenger hunt printable, and go to the image search, this is what you'll see for Google. Now you'll notice that there are a number of things that are from Pinterest. And if you go to Pinterest, if you click on those links, it wants you to sign up before you can view these Pinterest items. So there's a problem with that, in that you might not want to sign into Pinterest, or might not want to have an account there. So if you don't want to wade through all of the things that are on Pinterest, you can just remove them from the search by typing out the minus sign, the word site, Pinterest.com, and it'll just remove them from the site. Oh, that didn't work. So it'll remove them. So now you'll see that these are all from different blogs: Living Our Dream blog, Edible Jersey, Bree Blooms. So it doesn't work completely. Here's one. Pinterest is still here, but it really takes care of a lot of it. There's a lot of them. They're gone now. So now you can find stuff that you can actually download, which is really nice. So that's a nice little tip that I discovered while doing some of this PowerPoint. Other things you can do: the craft activity, bounce house. That costs a little bit of money, but they can be a nice, attractive draw from a distance. So if you have good visibility, you might be able to get some of that sort of nag factor from the kids to get to the bounce house. If you have a local magician or a clown or any sort of kids entertainer, they could come out. You can maybe work something out where you can barter for food or tips. Maybe they can work for tips. Balloon animals, something like that. They can sell them. So there are ways that you can work it out. Just be straightforward as far as what your budget is. If you don't have one, be clear about that. Another thing that I've seen in markets that I really think is pretty cool is a dance recital. If you have a local dance studio, it might be a little late might be a little late to plan that, but it's a good thing to keep in mind for the future. Having kids come out to do a dance recital can be a lot of fun. And 18 kids on a stage have 18 sets of parents coming to the market. So that can be a really nice boost to your bottom line for the day. One other thing I want to point out is Farmers Market Coalition also provides I Heart Farmers Market tattoos. And these are temporary tattoos that are really quite nice. You can get 200 for 25 bucks. And they're a nice deal. So consider doing that if you have $25 to spare. And the nice thing is about these is they don't have a shelf life, so you can, if you don't go through all 200 this year, you've got whatever's left over for next year. So it could be a nice purchase to get you through a year or two as well. So consider that for your market. A couple of things that are really good to remember is promoting it is key. You kind of have to be overt and repetitive and redundant when just getting the word out. You never know when somebody's going to be online. If you're doing a lot of stuff through your Facebook page or through newsletters or even just sort of interpersonally, you never know when people are actually paying attention. So you have to sort of make the assumption that most of the time people haven't seen what you've posted. So I would post very frequently if you're going to promote a special event. If you're going to do anything for this Farmers Market Week, I would recommend doing a once a day minimum post, once a day frequency, a minimum of just things that make your market special or why they're important to the community, what they could be, what the market can be, where it is, and it can be all of those things. You can have you can have a who, what, where, when, why schedule. So there's a who, a what, a where, a when, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So consider a couple of ways to do that. I would create a press release if you're going to do an event of any sort. Even if you're not, just do a press release for the National Farmers Market Week. Just do something that plugs the market, makes the press aware of it. And you can include in the press release, if you're successful at reaching out to your representatives, you can include the fact that your state senator will be there or the mayor will be there. But you want to include things that within the press release about why it's a special day. So ideally, you're going to have something going on, but if you don't have anything other than just sort of the farmers market week and coloring, still throw something out. It's good practice. Let's see. Woody says we use this coloring book. Oh, let me open this up. Stay with me, guys. Oh, it's USDA coloring book. Cool. Yeah. Yeah, this is nice. So this is an easy thing. It's already online, easy to print out, and you got all sorts of stuff here. So you can actually even print this in half pages and staple it together to make a booklet. And it's got all sorts of great stuff. Easy to kind of digest. It was a nice big coloring book. That's cool. Thanks for sharing that, Woody. Let's see. So here's the press release template, also from Farmers Market Coalition. So this is also in the PowerPoint, so feel free to use it. You'll see it's got it's got a quote. So you want to make sure that you include a quote from either yourself or a farmer, why the market is special, or relevant to some of the stuff. A lot of the Farmers Market Coalition stuff has to do with SNAP. This looks like it's just about why farmers markets are important to the economy. So make sure that the quote is oriented towards whatever your key point is in this first paragraph. So you don't have to use this important. You don't have to use this argument of how important farmers markets are to your economy. You can use something else, but this gives you an example that you can build off of. So feel free to kind of make it your own. And you'll see other stuff here. Everything in these curly braces is stuff that you want to replace with your own information. You already have a quote from the executive director of Farmers Market Coalition. If you would like a quote from me, I'm more than happy to provide one. And I will also create a press release that will have CFA-oriented programmatic elements with a quote from either myself or Martin, and some interesting stuff about Kentucky farmers markets. So keep an eye out for that as well. All right. So, social media tools. There's some really cool stuff available to us through Farmers Market Coalition once again. And if you want to make your own things, I've got a couple of things that I think are really cool. So we'll go to the Farmers Market Week resource page of the National Farmers Market Coalition. Download this media kit. It gives you a calendar for reaching out to going through and making plans for getting a hold of your press. There's also some great infographics here. There's farmers market trivia, farmers market talking points, social media cheat sheet, things that will help you get through the week and the planning for it. So marketing graphics. So if you tap on the marketing graphics, it'll open up to a Google Drive folder, and it'll give you a JPEG for the National Farmers Market Week, their logo here, which you can add to anything, or a JPEG. That's a nice banner that you can put up above something. So that's a nice thing to do, nice thing to have at your disposal. And I got to celebrate Farmers Market Coalition. They do a really good job of this stuff, to the point where I'm a little jealous. So here's some farmers market talking points. So here's some great stuff. You can just throw these in the press release or your proclamation template. All sorts of stuff available to us. So here's the main argument, and then here are the numbers to provide. Here are some backing up statements with statistics to back up this argument. So farmers markets support really resilient communities. That is according to the 2015 NASS Local Food Marketing Survey. So there are nice things here to use for regular posting for social media, and making the argument. And that's half the battle. And that's what's really great about the Farmers Market Week is that we sort of nationally the whole country is more attuned to hearing about farmers markets for the week. So it's a really good opportunity to just sort of make a case for your neighbor, for your community and market. So it's a cool thing to check out. Let's see. So we have one other thing I wanted to show you, which is very cool. Oh, of course. Well, Canva.com. This is a really, really cool tool that is far more approachable and just as almost for our needs is just as good as being a Photoshop expert. So if you want to make, say, a poster or Facebook cover, Instagram post, Facebook post, you can just pick one. So let's do a poster. So you click on the poster. This is after you've created an account within Canva. So it gives you, right here, you'll see it has this is the shape of your poster. So it's probably tabloid size, 11 by 17, but that also will fit on an 8.5 by 11 if you need to scale it down to something that's more accessible with your resources. So so you can search templates. Let's just type out farmers market and see what happens. So these are templates that are already here. So let's do this garage sale one. So now you can edit this garage sale, National Farmers Market Week. Change the dates, change the website to where your website is. And you've got easy graphics. Look, and all these are movable. So you can move the tree however you want, the flowers however you want. I bet this fence moves. Oh, pieces of the fence move. So it's a really cool tool for people who want to get nice graphics but don't have the can't afford Photoshop or don't have the skills or sort of knowledge that it takes to kind of make Photoshop or some of the other photo editing softwares useful. And there's a pretty steep learning curve with it. So the first time I found this I was pretty excited. So you can take any of this and change it. You can change this into a different image. You can adjust the image itself, and I believe you can change the image as well. Oh, all right, I'm getting a little too deep in this stuff. So anyway, take a look at Canva. It's a really easy way to create stuff for your market. And while I'm here, I'll just show you that you can do a Facebook cover, or actually we should do a Facebook post, shouldn't we? So we'll do a Facebook post. And it already automatically sizes it to the parameters of the Facebook post. So let's do farmers market again. And so you'll see these are even slightly different templates available to you. So these are quite nice, and they're easy, low barrier to entry programs that are free of charge. So these are really nice things to throw out there so that your market can look just a little bit more professional. Now, you'll see that another option for images, Canva has a lot of stock images as well, but the other one I want to point out, and we went over this in the branding webinar as well, is Unsplash.com, which has really pretty photos of all sorts of stuff, but these are all free. You can download any of these and use them for your market. So if you have, since we're talking about August, we're talking about tomatoes. So all sorts of great tomato pictures here available. These are stock images. They're free of charge. Feel free to download them and use them in your own branding, in your own posts. So you can upload these to Canva to make a Facebook post. All sorts of great options available. So think about that. And we will also be out there. We'll also be providing some social media stuff as well. Some of the infographics. We'll be providing some infographics that are CFA branded as well that you are more than welcome to use. So keep an eye out. So as I said, the infographics are forthcoming. The USDA also has a graphics package, which actually is also on this National Farmers Market Coalition page. USDA branding graphics will take you to the USDA site where you can get the text treatment pack, so you can actually get the font that they use. They've made a font for National Farmers Market Week, so you can use their design if you'd like. They have posters, the lockup pack. This is best for buttons and stickers. And then, here's the alphabet pack. So this is your font. Oh no, this is JPEGs. So, there's stuff available to you, and then there's the coloring sheets as well. So take a look there and utilize those if this aesthetic fits your market better. And so one thing that we're going to do for our markets this year is this week I'm going to send out a solicitation for all of our markets to provide us sort of some key details. We'll make a graphic for your market with the picture you provide, the key details of the dates, the hours, the day and hours of your market, and the location, and then a quick, I think tweet size, 140 character size or less brag about your market. And we will post that to all of our Facebook followers. You're more than welcome to share it. And that's something that we're going to do this year. We also will provide all of the Double Dollars and Farmers Market Support Program themed elements that we talked about today, the proclamation template, the press release template, and the National Farmers Market Week graphics. We're going to try to get all of that done in the next week. And we're also going to your markets. So if you'd like an extra pair of hands at your market for an event, we may be able to help. So just reach out to us. Hopefully we can do something and make it work for you. We're all really interested in making sure the Farmers Market Week goes well. And lastly, something we're going to try to do this year is create our own hashtag so that we can find stuff going on across the state, including specifically within our sort of network of markets. So if you can use, while you're doing stuff for National Farmers Market Week, KY Farmers Market Week, with the hashtag KY Farmers Market Week, we can find those and use those for our for sort of future posts and record keeping, and it makes, by using that hashtag, it makes it searchable, so you can see what other people are up to as well. So it's a neat way to use hashtags to your advantage and make your market better. So that's it for today's sort of webinar. I'm curious if you guys have any other questions, anything you'd like to talk about. There's not a lot of us here, so if you have any anything you'd like to add, or any tips that you'd like to provide? I'd love to kind of open up the floor to conversations. So I'll wait here for a second, see if I hear from any of you. Well, and also, Katie, I see that you are Katie Bowman from KCARD is here, and she's Katie. You have to excuse me. I think your title is business associate now, but you were doing a lot of social media stuff for KCARD. I think you still are. But if you have any other tips or tricks, if you raise your hand by using that hand raise button, I can unmute you. Okay, you're unmuted. Feel free to share if you got anything.
I don't have anything more than what you've got. I have attended a few trainings recently about Facebook and the change in their algorithm. What Facebook is trying to do is make the feel for users, so what your followers are feeling, what you're feeling when you're on there for personal time, to give it a more community feeling. So if you put in your post, like, comment, share, they will immediately knock your post down and not show it to very many people who follow your page. So just be aware of what verbiage and language you're using in your actual post.
Oh, really?
And just make sure that you're getting information out there. You're putting up information and sharing things that people want to see and people are really engaged with, and to really encourage your vendors and your customers to engage with those posts through the Market Facebook page.
Awesome. I didn't know that about. That's interesting. They for a long time it was a lot of the tips sort of stressed soliciting for likes and shares to kind of spread the message. But now that works to your disadvantage by asking for it, huh?
It does, and it's a recent change just within this year, since Facebook has been under a lot of scrutiny by its users, but also by the public eye as well.
Wow. Okay. So maybe one thing that we should probably recommend at this point is if you have any sort of budget for social media stuff, consider using boosted posts, or consider boosting your posts for these events or the Farmers Market Week posts that you provide. It's not super expensive. I know we're all working with pretty limited budgets, but they can make a big difference as far as getting payback for your effort. So consider a boosted post if you have any budget for it. Let's see. I don't really have any other questions coming in. So I guess we'll wrap it up. If anyone, that's still you, Katie. Well, Tammy or Woody, do you have any questions you'd like to ask? Okay. Well, thanks everyone for coming out to the Monday Market Matters webinar. I hope you were able to get some good information from this and are able to sort of at least develop a framework for your plan for the year, for this week, this coming Farmers Market Week. I think it's a really good thing to participate in, and I think it's a nice thing to schedule your year around. So if you are, and if you'd like to run your ideas by anyone, I'm more than happy to work with you. We have our regional technical assistants as well. So you should know who those folks are and have their addresses if you've applied for Farmers Market Support Program support this year. And yeah, feel free to reach out, and thank you so much for coming out today. I will talk to you all sooner or later. Thanks, everyone. Bye.